Overconfident? Maybe. A wee bit cocky? Maybe. Going into the game, feeling fairly confident. As you've seen from my match preview of this game, I was very, very confident. I thought we were going to get a big win. I thought it was going to be as close to a repeat as September as possible, but no. Maybe a little wake-up call. Maybe a knock on the door of some form to realise that things might not be as close in the future. There's a lot of questions to be asked from yesterday's performance on Celtic's part. It was disappointing to say the least. That's just my opinion of it. I thought it was disappointing. I was not one of the fans who booed the team out or whatever like that. No, never a million years. But yesterday, incredible letdown, could you say? Going into the game, high hopes that we go out there and we do what we've done to Rangers 3 times this season. We pick them apart and we take the 3 points away. But no, the determination in the team wasn't there. The want in the team wasn't there. The Rangers team wanted it far more than us. But we're here to talk about the game anyway. So welcome back to the channel. Rangers fans, you wasted very little time, didn't you? It was straight away, as soon as that final whistle went, there was people on my match preview sending, everything under the sun. And I put up my match vlog, everything else being said. I even got called a specky hot dog. I don't know if I've ever heard that before, but oh well, I'm a specky hot dog now. Disappointing, Celtic yesterday. I'm incredibly disappointed from the way we played. I thought there was a very little part of the game where I can say that Celtic were the dominant team and the better team on the field. It was very, very little. So Rangers started, first 10 minutes, they looked as though they wanted it. They did, and they went out guns blazing, had a couple of chances in the first 10 or so minutes. And they could have inflicted they did inflict a lot of damage. I think it might have been a bit of a wake-up call. And then from, say about the 15th minute on, up until half-time, I thought Celtic, better team. We got a goal, we went 1-0 up from Armstrong. I thought we were the better team, and it was comforting. Going into the second half, I thought to myself, right, the game's in our hands, surely it'll be ours now. A few more goals in the second half, it's game over. Even one more goal, I was expecting us to, finish off the game. We didn't get that. We started off the second half relatively strong. I thought first 5 minutes, we had a couple of chances going forward, and we just dominated the ball, but from the 50th minute onwards, say, absolutely done. We're out the game, and fair dues to Rangers. They outplayed Celtic yesterday from that point on in the game. And their goal was coming from a mile away. You could see it coming from a mile away. There was no chance we were going to keep out something, and they finally took their chance. And big Clint Hill, of all people, managed to put the ball in the back of the net in the 87th minute. Gordon, if it wasn't for him, it could have been much, much worse. If Martin Waghorn could actually finish the ball, and if Craig Gordon wasn't in goals, it could have been damaging yesterday. It could have really been embarrassing. They had a few good chances, and granted we had a couple of chances where finishing could have been better as well, but I thought, it was really disappointing. It seemed like the confidence wasn't there, it seems like the want wasn't there, and the determination wasn't there, and it just reminds me of that night we played Mönchengladbach in the Champions League, where, everything's there to play for, the occasion's there, the points are there, and the fans are there, but they just didn't deliver. And it seemed like we went out, and how we have been at home this past couple of months, I would say, as we just expect the game to fall into our hands, and 9 times out of 10 it does. But yesterday, in the first half of last week against St Mirren, proves that all of the time it doesn't fall into our hands, and we actually need to play proper good football sometimes to actually get somewhere. And yesterday was a prime example of how we can't take things too lightly. Invincible season, is it in doubt now? I don't know, because obviously in the last 6 games of the season we're going to have to visit Pittodrie, we're going to have to visit Tynecastle and Ibrox. It's a very big ask now. But this has really damaged our confidence going to Hampden. That's what I'm worried about. There's 2 ways this can come from. It can either give Rangers the confidence to go and beat us at at Hampden, like they did last April, or it could spur us on, hopefully, to go and get a big win at Hampden, to go on and win the treble. We're not going to talk about the Hampden game too much. It's just I feel like we needed that big win yesterday to give us the confidence going in there. I still think we'll win at Hampden, but it creeps the doubt in a lot more. And I don't like doubting the team, especially when it comes to games like this. But, I mean, yesterday wasn't the most reassuring of performances, was it? And I think any Celtic fan can agree. I don't know what your take is on the game. Let me know your take in the comments below. A lot of people not bothered. I'm not too bothered at the fact we're drawn. We're still undefeated. As I look at it, we're still undefeated. We're still champions. They can celebrate the draw as much as they like, but at the end of the day, we have dominated the league this season. And I think, being 32 points clear or whatever it is we are of Rangers is an achievement in its own. So I'm not too disheartened when I look at it from that point of view. It's just how poorly we played yesterday. In my opinion, 3 players turned up on the field. Craig Gordon, not even an outfield player, because if it wasn't for him, as I said, things could have been a lot worse. Stuart Armstrong, who was playing terrific, still wondering why he got taken off. I heard a rumour or something that he had tight calves, so he had to come off. If he didn't have tight calves, I'm still very curious why he didn't go off. And Scott Brown, who had a semi-decent game, he was awarded the man of the match, when I think it still went to Craig Gordon. But he was awarded man of the match. They were the only 3 players on the park. You know, it's a bad day when I thought Kieran Tierney was rotten yesterday. Kieran Tierney, yes, he made a good few defensive challenges, a good few tackles in there, and he intercepted the ball a few times, but when it came to passing, Jesus God almighty, yesterday we could not string 2 passes together, and it seemed as the game went on, we tried to rely more and more on lumping the ball up the park, and there was a lot of memories coming back from that night at the new camp. We just seemed to launch the ball up to Dembele or Griffiths and hoping they could do the rest. It didn't seem the passing was good, and then when we did try to play it short, it went right to the foot of a Rangers player. It was just disappointing. The second half was an abysmal half of football to watch. It really was. We got let off. I think, honestly, Rangers could have won that game. In the first half, if we took a couple more chances, if Armstrong scored that free kick, and then in the second half, Dembele had a chance, first half, Dembele had a chance. If we took those chances, we could have put the game to bed. I had cut myself off there, I got interrupted, so I don't know where I'm leaving off from here. I have a very short memory. But, it could have went either way, but Rangers really did come to Celtic Park yesterday with a point to prove. Maybe the motivation was there because our new manager was sitting in the stands watching them. That could be part of the equation, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's a wake-up call, and we can't go on any further with this kind of mentality that everything's going to fall into our hands, which I feel like might have been going around the team yesterday. Because when we go to Hampden to play Rangers, and when we go to these vital away games against the upper half of the table, we've got to really sharpen up. I think yesterday was a point from that. Rangers, good draw for them. There's the 2 minds of how they're celebrating it. People celebrating it like they've won the league. People celebrating normally. I mean, if we drew with Barcelona, for example, we'd be like that. But, I'm just kind of in the middle. They can celebrate all they like. At the end of the day, we're champions. That's my view. And we could just keep progressing forward a game at a time. As Ben Rodgers says, not much to say. I'm just slightly disappointed from yesterday's result. I'm not going to talk about the penalty because at the end of the day, we didn't really deserve a big win or anything, but we should have got the penalty. But it's not bogging me down too much. It is what it is. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Rangers fans, fire away. And I'll see you all next time.